Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, see!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Cowboys Roundup. Let's get straight into it. What did you think of the game, Dad?
Started off quite promising. We got a fair bit of momentum. Got a 10-0 lead, and we're looking really good. Seemed to be when Jace and Griff went off, and their bench come on and just had a major impact.
Pretty stacked.
Gilbert was pretty outstanding. Kafusi was even pretty good for an old fella.
Yeah, I remember seeing that stat. It was maybe halfway through the second half where Gilbert had 16 runs.
Yeah.
And it was 4 more than the next best person who was a winger.
They seemed to give him momentum, and we never really recovered from that. And we sort of, it was a bit disappointing the way it ended as well, because we were a chance to get back to make an impact and maybe win the game, and they let him in for a couple of easy tries in the last 5 minutes, which sort of blew out the score in the end, and it's quite disappointing in the end.
Yeah, I think games like this, like, as much as I don't want to be too super negative on the Cowboys, we're at that point where you're kind of just like, you need everything to be perfect because we're coming into finals and all that. These type of games show like basically which team is better, in my opinion. So like a Dolphins team that was struggling at the start, they can fight their way back and win a game like this in, that 60th minute, the championship rounds, as people call them, when it's, getting real tough, and that's when the good teams really show up.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, like, I think obviously last week for the Dolphins was a bit of an anomaly, in my opinion. Like, the Sharks were too good and they just were missing a couple like players that I don't know. Last week was really weird. I don't really know what even to put that to, but
no, it's probably like you say, they had key players missing after Origin. In the NRL at the moment, when one team gets momentum, it's hard to arrest it and pull it back.
100%. I'll read out the stats real quick. So it was 36-16 to the Dolphins. It really blew out towards the end there. So Tommy Dearden on his first game back got a great try. Jeremiah as well from another Tommy Dearden bit of brilliance. And Drinkwater towards the end, never giving up on the play. And then you got Asako, Kafusi. That was a good try, that Kafusi try. Asako again. Both Asako's tries were pretty good, actually. Yeah. Gilbert, Plath, and Lemuelu. I wasn't watching at that point, so I don't know what those were like. Drinky was pretty good on the boot, 2 for 3. His one kick that he missed, he was pretty far off, but something we got to obviously get a hold on to. I mean, we'll talk about it in a second. Asako was perfect from the boot. But yeah, one main topic we want to talk about out of this game was Jake Clifford got dropped to the bench as a utility this game for Tommy Dearden's coming back. I'd like to know what you think about that.
Well, the fact that he didn't get used at all too. Jake's been our most consistent player this year, whether right or wrong, whether he's been good or bad at times, and that happens with all players, but he's been consistent. He's got a great long kicking game, which we missed again today.
Yep.
There were periods throughout the game when we did have the upper hand that you could see that Drinky was playing more of a halves role than what Jackson was doing. So and I've said it before, we're taking the effectiveness out of Jackson's game by putting him into a role as a half, which he may have played in the halves throughout his junior career, but at the moment at NRL level, he's just not there. And we're taking the good parts out of his game to try and make him something that I really feel that he's not at the moment.
No, I think like, obviously when you're on the front foot, it's really easy to play your best game, but it's really kind of when you're on that back foot, that's when you need to, like, this is what the 6s and 7s in our game, this is what they do. They make plays, So I think Jackson is a player that can impact. He can win games for teams, but he has to be in the right place. And that's not necessarily center. It's not we don't know what that is. He's so young. It's at this point we don't know where that is.
Yeah.
But from what we do know, Jackson is a fantastic ball runner, and it feels like just the way our offense moves, he gets more ball running when he's in the centers. When he's in the halves and it gets a bit tough, Jackson seems to go. He tries to play as a half. He passes the ball. He doesn't run it. Like he kind of has to second guess everything he's
Yeah,
doing.
he gets, like you say, in the centers, he gets more ball running, more space.
Yes.
You're always going to have more space out on the edges. And yeah, like you say, there was periods today where he actually did look good. He put up a few kicks, but as soon as the Dolphins got momentum, he just went missing pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
And I don't even think it's not even a defensive thing with Jackson. I think he's quite strong defensively, actually, in my opinion. It's just attacking. He doesn't seem to. It's not that he doesn't have the flair. I just don't think he knows what to do in those situations. I think he's obviously played less than 10 games at half in the NRL. Like, stuff comes with experience, but he's also played like less than 50 games in the NRL altogether.
Yeah, so. That's right. To expect him to run the team. I guess the fact that Tommy was coming back from injury, and Tommy did step up and he was our best player, hands down.
Yeah.
But we were then relying on him to do everything, really.
Yeah. No, it is a weird one. It is because you can kind of see where Todd's coming from, because obviously Jackson's going to be a player of the future. He's going to do great things in this game, but I just think he needs to stick to him in one position so Jackson can consistently perform. Because it's not like it's not like every game Jackson's like the best player on the field. Like, he has his off and on games, as everyone does, but I think he just needs consistency at the moment in his young career. That's what I think.
Yeah,
and whether that's fullback next year with Drinky going or a center, it doesn't really matter to me. I really care if he just gets the ball in space. That's all he should do, and run.
And I guess the scoreline belies how good the Cowboys actually did play, because back to what you were just saying about the consistency, we're getting a bit of consistency about the team, and there was periods in that first half where the Dolphins were really attacking our goal line, and our goal line defense was pretty good and held them out for quite a bit, and that all comes down to consistency in the team, being able to rely on the guy on your inside or on your outside, and trust is another thing in that case. You're not then getting, which they probably did a little bit where the second Asako try, Muzz come in, but what I was going to say was your wingers don't have a tendency to come in then if they rely on their centers.
Yeah, that's right.
But and that all comes down to consistency, really.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point, maybe start of last year even, where the Cowboys would get to goal line defense and you could write it up as a try, really. Like, that's how it felt.
Yeah. If an opposition team got 5 meters out, they were going to score.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. So it's come on leaps and bounds, and that's all credit to Todd. Like, I think, we were pretty harsh on Todd coming into the season. I mean, everyone was, because, I think, obviously our team on paper, it feels like we should be performing better than we are.
Yeah,
but I think
definitely.
a lot of credit should go to Todd for this season, doing so well under the pressure that he was under. His whole coaching staff got rejigged. He had to move on a star player. Like, a lot going on, and we're in 8th at the moment. Like, that's pretty impressive in my opinion.
And we started off 0-3 too.
Yeah, that's right,
with a couple of really bad performances. So, while today was disappointing, like you say, we're still in good shape. Results went our way this week, but we can't continue to. It's time for them to start to step up and sort of make a run towards finals.
Well, we do have a pretty good run. I'll move on to our next game, which is Saturday, 25th of July. It is the Queensland Derby. So the Cowboys will be playing the Broncos at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. That's a 7:35 game on that night. And then we go Roosters, Titans, Eels, Tigers, Raiders. That's our run home.
Yep.
So it's like obviously they're all NRL teams. Anything can happen any day. Like we still have to go out there and perform, but it's not the worst run in the position that we're in now, especially with the Broncos. They've obviously just caught fire start of this week, and the Roosters are our top 3 teams. So
yeah,
those are still tough matchups.
And the other sides that we were playing against on their day, which Parramatta showed up here earlier in the year,
Yes.
they can definitely beat us. It's another case of, and I think you've said it in the past, the games that the Cowboys are supposed to win,
Yes.
they tend to fall over.
Apart, yeah.
And they come and do what they did a few weeks ago and beat a team like Penrith.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's an odd one. But yeah, like that's all I've got. If you've got a bit more on the game, like please.
No, I think I've covered it all. Like I said, it was a disappointing end for the score to blow out to be a 20-point deficit on a game that 5 minutes earlier we were still a chance of winning.
Yep.
So I guess the drop in the last 5 minutes is probably the most disappointing part of the game. Our discipline was a bit poor at times throughout the game, which gave away penalties and gave the Dolphins back the ball. But to their credit, the Dolphins played themselves back into form. They're a good side, like you say. Last week was an anomaly.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And to be able to compete with the way that they've been going, it's probably a plus for our team as well. And hopefully they take the lessons that they've learnt out of it tonight.
And beat the freaking Broncos.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we've got for you guys. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.